Okay, good morning and welcome to this. We're reading chapter 12 in the book Think and Grow Rich in 10 Minutes a Day by Napoleon Hill. And so this is the chapter on the brain, the 12 steps to riches. Every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. A built-in broadcasting station through the medium of the ether in a fashion similar to that employed by the radio broadcasting principle. Every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations of thought which are being released by other brains. The human brain functions like a broadcasting station using similar principles to those behind radio communication. It can both pick up vibrations of thought emitted by other people's brains and send out its own thought vibration. So I think what he's saying is that there's there are thoughts floating around in the ether and they come to us. And that's why I don't know what is it, 60,000 we get 60,000 thoughts a day or something like that because they're uh and we can't really keep them all from, we can't keep them from coming, but we can, if we're, if we guard against, if we know it, we can guard against what we accept. A thought comes to us of doing something that might, we look at it and decide if it's, is this going to help me in reaching my goal or not? And then we can either accept it or reject it. Does anybody else want to share some thoughts on that?
You summarized it very well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and read on them?
Okay. The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain, as discussed in chapter 5. When stimulated by strong positive emotions such as sex, faith, and love, the creative imagination becomes more attuned, more receptive to the thought impulses of others. It mediates between the four sources of thought impulses presented in the last chapter: infinite intelligence, one's subconscious thoughts, others' conscious thoughts, and others' subconscious thoughts, and an individual's conscious mind, which then determines which thoughts reach the subconscious through the principle of autosuggestion. In order for thought impulses to be transmitted through the ether and be perceived and acted upon by one's own brain, they must be heavily emotionalized so that they can vibrate at a very high rate. Excuse me. The subconscious mind is the sending station of the brain. It broadcasts thoughts into the ether and to infinite intelligence. Autosuggestion enables individuals to maximize the functionality of the subconscious mind, making it broadcast thoughts in such a way that they seek to be transmitted, I suppose. But yes, so okay, should I just carry on reading? Translated into their material equivalent. The first step is identifying a definite dominating desire. Return to the 6 steps for transforming desire into riches in chapter 1 for a reminder of how desire fosters the creation of thought habits that lead to prosperity. So yeah, I think autosuggestion is really, really very powerful. Even if you don't believe, by repetition, I find that I become more attuned to what I'm doing. So yes, the autosuggestion is really powerful for the subconscious mind.
Yeah. And we're auto suggesting all the time, whether we know it or not. I think, because our mind keeps keeps going, it never stops. And so, yeah, it is a powerful thing. Do you have anything that's worth it?
I think so. Basically, the brain is both broadcasting and receiving station. We basically receive and send both at the same time. Means we can send to the ether, and the ether in turn will vibrate at such a frequency and get back the result, which are in that set of frequencies, which whatever we are vibrating with. It's basically, it functions both receiving and sending a broadcasting station. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, you want to go ahead and read us, Martha?
The final frontier of counts the brain. All of us are controlled by forces which are unseen and intangible. A common myth is that we use only 10% of our brains. However, this is not true. Even when we are sleeping, significantly more than 10% of our brain is active. What is true, according to Scientific American, is that we understand only approximately 10% of how the brain functions. Since Hill published Think and Grow Rich in 1937, the field of neuroscience has made numerous important discoveries, including, for example, that some people without olfactory bulbs in their brain can still experience the sense of smell, and that some comas prone patients demonstrate signs of hidden consciousness, which suggests that they can perceive and process instructions even if they cannot physically act on them. And yet, there is still so much that we do not understand about the brain. Yeah, basically, what he's trying to say is it's only we think that our we only understand 10% of the brain. Basically, that's what he's trying to say. It's we are doing we are only doing 10% of things. It's not true, but we only understand about the brain of 10%. That's what it's trying to say. And the brain can do many things. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I find it interesting that here, something I read in that other book, The Universe Calling, uh, he talked about the word grace, and he said he in if I understood it right, he said there's a sense of, like, even when we don't even when we're not operating on all our faculties, it grace, there's still going to be something of, he described it like being in a house with all the windows and doors tightly shut. There's still a small amount of oxygen or air getting into it for you to survive. And so that would be, I think, what I yeah, because even though we only understand about 10%, the we can still operate, uh, keep operating, because uh, if we wouldn't be able to, then yeah, we would probably perish. But there's a sense of, oh, I don't know how I want to describe it. Like, uh, grace is still going to, or because of grace, there's still going to be, uh, there is the law of sowing and reaping, but there's still going to be something, even though we don't understand and we're not really uh doing the work, there's still going to be something that's going to keep us alive and keep us going. I'm I think I'm not making much sense maybe right now, so I'm gonna have to study
No,
that some
no,
more.
but I do understand you did, because it says hidden consciousness, the comatose patients that demonstrate signs of hidden consciousness. And we know of people that have been in a coma and could hear but couldn't really respond, but just by blinking an eye or twitching a finger or so. So there is something that's there that is keeping us conscious.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. So, yeah, I definitely want to study that more because I know that the word grace is pretty freely uh used today in a way that is probably not really what it's used in a way that is not meant to be used. Um, so um I will read one more paragraph and then see where this goes. While it is clear that the incredible inner workings of the brain are responsible for the impact that our thoughts have and the life they take on after their initial generation, we do not understand all the physical processes that participate in this phenomenon. One of the primary mysteries still left to be unraveled is how thought is transformed into its physical equivalent. As Hill writes, it is inconceivable that such a network of intricate machinery should be in existence for the sole purpose of carrying on the physical functions incidental to growth and maintenance of the physical body. Is it not likely that the same system which gives billions of brain cells the media for communication one with another provides also the means of communication with other intangible forces? Future studies of the brain will likely continue to reveal the complex manner in which the brain translates its numerous inputs into an impulse that eventually materializes in physical form. So I like how he says, it is inconceivable that such a network of intricate machinery should be in existence for the sole purpose of carrying on the physical functions incidental to growth and maintenance of the physical body. So I think of that as, you know, we've been programmed to just think we're just here for a short time and we just have to go about our physical labor and until we die. And that's, it's kind of like Christianity has made it a certain thing and this is all there is. And we don't explore what could be. So I do, I also believe that it's, scripture says we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So there has to be something more than just simply living out a physical life here. Um, and so it, it's ours to discover.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have anything to share on this one?
It is amazing that whatever we think about can be, it can materialize into physical form. And that's when they say, all we have to do is create. And if we really, really take it to heart and listen to our brain and our mind and just do the auto suggestion, yeah, it's amazing what we can come up with. And we've seen people come up with stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I've done a lot more than I ever thought I could, and I'm sure I'll
Mhm.
do a lot more even
Mhm.
more than what I think I can now. Swartha, you have anything?
I think basically it's just not about the brain. Yeah, I think you guys covered well enough. That. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. And I will stop the recording.